All right. So welcome. This is our second call for the our mastermind meeting calls. So today we're going to be going over the 4 vital behaviors. So I will kick off and I'll start with being product of the product. So what is being product of the product? So people might say, well, can I be a coach if I don't drink Shakeology? Can I be a coach if I don't do the fitness programs? The answer is yes, you could be a coach by not using or doing the fitness programs. But will you be a successful coach not using those things? And, 99% chance is no, you're not going to be successful unless you're using the products and you're trying them for yourself firsthand. I equate it with let's say you go to, you hear about a sale at a store. Say Gap's having a sale. You heard about it. And you're relaying it to someone, hey, I heard Gap's having a sale, we should go check it out, whatever, it sounds good. But if you had actually gone to Gap during the sale and you saw the clothes, you tried them on, how much more excitement and zeal would you have going to a friend hey, oh my gosh, I went to Gap, I tried on these jeans, they fit amazing, and they had 5 different colors and blah, 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 blah. I mean, you get my point, right? There's just so much more behind it when you can personally testify to what it's like. And that's the same thing for Beachbody, for the different fitness programs, for Shakeology. So it's really sharing your journey and your experience with the products. Everyone might have, with Shakeology, say, everyone might have different benefits they feel from Shakeology in a different order. Maybe for someone, they feel much more energy. Someone else, it might be is that they feel full longer and it satisfies them. Whatever it is, you need to be sharing how it affects you, and how it relates to you. The same goes for the fitness program. So you're doing it, you're committing to a fitness program, you're doing it start to finish, and you're sharing. Now, granted, to start, you might not have a transformation to show. That's okay. You just want to share as you're going along, hey, I'm doing this new fitness program. This is how I'm feeling after week 1. Maybe it's, I was really surprised by these types of workouts. I really feel it working this part of my body. I'm feeling more confident in my clothes. Whatever the case is, you want to be sharing that, because how will people know unless you're sharing? That's how we get our message across as Beachbody coaches, is sharing on social media about these things. You can't just be okay, I'm a Beachbody coach, and then never talk about it or never share about it and expect everyone to come to you about it. Because A, maybe not everyone got the memo the first time you mentioned it, but B, you want to be sharing constantly. And like I said, doing the different programs, because everyone's going to relate differently to what you're putting out there. So someone could maybe care less about whatever program I'm doing at the time. Maybe I'm doing Core de Force. Someone might be and I don't really care about that. But then the next time, I have a new program I'm trying and I'm going with that. I'm trying Country Heat. Someone's oh, I really like dancing, So if you're sharing about these things, you're giving a name to it, that's how people are going to respond. So, you want to be excited about it, and, you want to be invested in it. I'm just checking over my notes. So, and like I said, don't be afraid to celebrate and share those small victories. Okay. I have coaches who maybe think, well, I don't really have a transformation to share right away, or it's not a huge transformation. Share anything. It's one thing if you go, oh, I only lost 5 pounds after 3 weeks. Oh, if that's how you share it and that's how you come across on social media, then no, people aren't going to get excited if that's how you ho-hum about it. But if you're oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds in 3 weeks and I'm feeling really good, then they're going to be yeah, that's awesome. I want to try that. So it's all about how you relay the message too, and have confidence in what you're doing, and knowing that, yeah, I lost 5 pounds my first round, but I know if I keep going, this other person I know had amazing results, and I'm just going to keep plugging away. That excitement is going to exude, to your network. So, and what do I want to say? So, yeah, so, before I started coaching, I did 21 Day Fix, and I got results with 21 Day Fix. So when I started coaching, I kind of was like, it was just kind of a natural progression. But I understand that not every coach that starts, maybe you started coaching and you're just starting Beachbody programs for the first time yourself. And that's okay. But don't be afraid to put it out there and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And just, continually share about that. So being a product of a product is huge. And that's really, I feel, is like a super important thing, because if you're doing it and you're sharing your excitement about it, and then B, you're getting results from it, and people can physically see those results, they can see it in person, they can see it through your posts on social media, then they're gonna want to join. They're gonna want to try these things. So that's, one of the vital behaviors. So I'll just kind of summarize and end with that, and not get too long-winded on it.
All right, awesome. So the next vital behavior is inviting. And inviting is, like, as we know, super, super important. It's also something that's kind of tricky and uncomfortable at times, especially, with reaching out with people, or if you're brand new, putting those posts out there, like Abby was saying, being a product of the product and sharing with people, it can be uncomfortable. So, but it's so important. And I mean, unfortunately, in this business, people aren't going to come to us first all the time. I mean, it happens, but we've got to be the one reaching out and, talking to people, starting those conversations and building those relationships. We need to be initiating those conversations. So when you first start out I know if you follow the Coach Basics in the back office, and it may be, some of you may have different trainings with your upline, but you make the list of 100 people, of anybody it could be family members, your mailman, anybody you can think of, and you go from that list. And that's basically your very warm market to can lead into it's basically your warm market, but there's like less warm, anyways. So, but my point is, so, let's say you're going to message a close family member or a friend, and, that's okay, I feel, because they're close to you, to come right out and tell them, hey, I'm doing this. I'm running this challenge group. I started drinking Shakeology and doing this program. Like, are you interested in joining me? So somebody very close, just definitely, you can feel comfortable messaging them right off the bat about Beachbody. Less warm would be maybe your hairdresser or someone from high school you haven't talked to in a while, and you'd want to reach out to them and start the conversation like less, not about Beachbody at first, ask about their life, or, what's been going on, how their family is and all that stuff. And it's also a good thing to go to their Facebook pages and, see what's going on in their life before you message them, and, and you don't know what's going on, and trying to talk to them, about their lives. And then later on, maybe 6, 7 messages down or deep in the conversation, then you can bring up Beachbody, or if they ask about, you, and you basically, obviously, tailor the conversation to sound like you and, to what you're talking about. So that's basically warm market. Cold market, it took me quite a while to get comfortable with it, and it's still uncomfortable, sometimes, but you just gotta do it. You gotta, build your following and, meet new people. And so, let's see, basically like Facebook and Instagram, you need to be doing call to action posts, Transformation Tuesdays, Throwback Thursday, Sunday coach opportunity posts, or invite to your challenge group. And the call to action is, at the end, you say, shoot me a message, comment below, tap that heart or that like, and it gives you the opening, like especially when you say tap that heart on Instagram or Facebook, it gives you an opening to send them a message afterwards. So this is mostly what I do on Instagram. Some of you may not have an Instagram account yet. It took me a while to get comfortable with Instagram. Facebook was my thing, but I basically have a lot of my warm market on Facebook. So on Instagram, I reach out to everybody who likes my posts and invite them to learn more about. And it's all only my call to action posts that I reach out to. Actually, no, I take that back. I'll go over that in a minute. But so to the likers, it starts conversations, and so I'll just tell you what I say. Annie or Abby can write it out for you guys. I've written it out for my team, but because they do the same thing, like what they write. So I basically say, hey lady, just wanted to reach out and say thank you for liking my post last night. I really appreciate the support. I know that sometimes liking a post is just a sweet gesture, but if you'd like more info about my upcoming challenge group, sneak peek into coaching, whatever I did the call to action for, I'd be happy to share the details with you. Hope your day is going well so far. And I'll put like a heart. And, so that gives them an out to be like, oh, I just really liked your post. Or it's a lot of the times I get people, who are interested. And a lot of times half the people probably won't write you back. And you got to remember not to take offense to that by any means. It's just going to happen. But you'll be surprised, the ones who do. And even if they don't say yes right off the bat, you're still initiating that conversation and planting that seed. So when I do a non-call to action post, such as a workout video or maybe even a quote about working out, anything that has to do with Beachbody, I will message them. This is what I say. I say, hey lady, just wanted to reach out and say thank you for liking my post yesterday. I appreciate it so much when people support my journey and send good vibes my way. Are you on a healthy journey too? So I just recently started doing this, and it starts a lot of conversations. I know it has, Annie's been doing it too. And you get a conversation going and start building that relationship. So, also, before you are messaging these likers, make sure you go through their profiles first and make sure they are not working with a competitor's MLM, that they live in the US or Canada, and are not a coach themselves, because it's super embarrassing. And I've done it before when people aren't blatantly, have that they're a coach already, but when you message somebody who's already involved in the business, it's pretty embarrassing. Or when you find out somebody doesn't live in the US or Canada, and then you can't offer them, our products. So, and then just with inviting, like how often I post, I usually post like 2 weeks before my challenge group starts. So, and then 1 week before a sneak peek starts. And I'm always filtering in coaching or talking about my challenge groups in those posts. Remember to make it's like the 80-20 rule, kind of like with eating clean and cheating. When you're posting on social media, it's 80% your life and 20% Beachbody. So those posts that you are talking about the business, make sure you're sprinkling, how coaching's helped you, or, how awesome your challenge groups are. And I'm trying to condense this topic because I've kind of gone on some tangents. That's not just all about inviting. There's so much more that we'll get into about, each kind of thing with Instagram and all that. But I wanted to show you guys too. I'm going to share my screen real quick. It's a template. There's like a PowerPoint that Raina Odell shared with us at Super Saturday. And this is a really good, can you guys see my screen? Yeah. This is a really good template that she shared. It's in my team page. I don't know if Annie and Abby, it's in yours, but let me make it bigger. There we go. So she provided like all the, exactly what she says, when she invites her challengers, coaches, adding people to your network daily, which is important. Expanding your network is super important, because if you don't get new eyes on your posts, then it's going to be the same people seeing them over and over again. You need to get new eyes on those posts. I mean, your posts can be amazing, but if you don't get new people seeing them, then you're not going to get new people to join you. Anyway, so follow-up challengers, coaches. Yeah, so she has a bunch of, and then this is a system she uses. So check it out. It's in our file section in Team Believe and Achieve. Let me stop share. Oh, there we go. Anyways, so that's all I have. Are you guys there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it.
I know it's the girls are being a little loud in the background, so I have myself muted. Okay, so our next topic we're all going to kind of chat about, but it's recognition. And recognition is one of the greatest vital behaviors because you're making other people feel good for what they've done. And who doesn't like to feel good after achieving something great or doing even something small? And there's so many ways to recognize people. And so I thought I would, I pulled up a couple different ways that you may have seen people being recognized. But then after I show you these things, I want to maybe just kind of chat about some smaller ways of recognizing people. And let me share my screen. All right. Okay, so here's one, just one way of recognizing someone on your team, or maybe it's a challenger, but this happens to be a coach on my team, and she stepped out of her comfort zone and posted out to the public eye that she had, kind of fallen off a little bit, but was really excited about getting back on her game and committing to a program. So when I saw that on her Facebook post, I went ahead and shared that in my group or on our team page so that she can get more love and really recognized for the efforts, because we all know it's not fun to confess when you maybe have fallen off the wagon a little bit, especially when we're coaches, but we're real human beings. So it's so important to be real and raw and show that you're relatable. And I thought this was just a great post. So that's one way of recognizing. Another way is when we have rank advancements. And I think a lot of people think when they, are first starting to coach and they hear that this as a vital behavior, that they think that, rank advancements are really the only time we recognize people, which is totally incorrect, as you can see from the last recognition. Another one is when you have a new coach, recognize them, put a shout out and welcome to the team, even if they're not comfortable with you sharing that on the public social page. Share that in the team page so you can get them familiar with the team pages and get a nice warm welcome. Another way is to recognize the efforts and progress and results. And this is a great transformation story of one of our challengers, and so by sharing that, I really encourage to share this publicly, because not only is that recognizing your challenger for their great efforts, what that's also doing is showing the very first vital behavior, which is product of the product. So here's a challenger that has committed to the challenge groups and has had amazing results. And so, I mean, not only are you a walking billboard when you're product of the product, but here's another billboard for you and your business. And then another one, it's hard to, okay, there we go. When you have challengers, coaches, doing things outside of Beachbody that are somewhat health related, give them a shout out, or just, for me, when I know that I have challengers or coaches that are committing to Spartan races or 5Ks or half marathons or whatever it may be, I make it a point to mark my calendar. I don't remember these things off the top of my head. I tend to jot them down. So I have a little tickler for myself to make sure to give them like a, hey, good luck, that morning. And that is another form of recognizing. And then when they're done, recognizing on the page with pictures, or giving them a shout out on their page, like, hey, congratulations. Even just commenting on what they've accomplished on their Facebook page or whatever it may be is a form of recognition. So there's big and small ways of doing this. Another way is to recognize when we've hit Success Club, or even if there's just one point on the board, is to recognize your personally sponsored coaches for that, because as we all know, there's times that it's so challenging just to get one on the board. So, especially when they hit SC5, give them big kudos. I mean, that's a huge deal. We all know how hard it is. So, so that is multiple ways of, recognizing your team, your challengers, and I'll kind of, open the floor to Carrie and Abby as well to maybe share some ideas. But I hope that you gather from just that little bit that it doesn't have to always be something really fancy. Like the last one, that's a beautiful post, but it doesn't have to be fancy. It could be just even verbally, right? Like, or typing out like, hey, I want to give a shout out to so-and-so. She did X, Y, and Z. Or, we have, times that are difficult too for our challengers and our coaches, and recognizing, asking for prayers and such, that's another way, another form. So I hope you guys get the gist of recognition.
I think you covered it, actually, to be honest. I don't really think I can add to that. So.
Okay. Well, okay, if something does come up that you want to, add to that, definitely feel free to.
Yeah.
Sorry, the hubby just got home, so the dogs are freaking out. If you can hear the background noise. Okay, so then that moves us on to our fourth vital behavior. And our fourth vital behavior is personal development. So I said the last one was like one of our greatest, because obviously we want to make people feel good. But gosh, I mean, how do we make other people feel good if we don't feel good ourselves? So personal development was one of the biggest things I felt was a gift when I was introduced to coaching, because I was just sharing, with Carrie and Abby, like before the call. I mean, I probably read one book from when I went to college, like until I started coaching. And that was a big gap of years of not reading. I kind of just always made an excuse, having little ones and not having the time, just being tired, wanting to go to bed instead of picking up a book and reading. And when I read that it was a vital behavior, I knew that in order to make this coaching business work, that I had to follow those vital behaviors. There's a reason they call it a vital behavior. So there's many times I slip in and out of following that particular vital behavior. But I tend to have to remind myself or make it a point, put it on my schedule to make it happen. Sorry, 1 second. Hold on 1 second, sorry. Okay, Daddy's gonna help you get her in there right now. Okay, bye. Go. So.
She's our special guest.
Yeah. Okay. What I wanted to share with you guys is I picked up a book and it wasn't anything too exciting when I first started coaching, but again, I knew it was important to do it. But then I was even more excited about this whole coaching thing because Beachbody sent me a book in the mail, and I'm like, what the heck? I got a free gift. Like, this is so cool. So of course I read it. And you guys, if you have not read The Compound Effect, pick yourself up this book ASAP. Get it on Audible. This was life-changing for me, and I've actually read it. I've read it again, and I listened to it on Audible again. And I still can't tell you exactly anything word for word from this book. However, it hit home. It was eye-opening. And it made me realize like how much you can gain from reading. And even if it was just 10 minutes a day, I was excited to wake up in the morning. I would set my alarm and I would sit on the couch and dive into that book and then I was just excited for the next morning to come so I could read some more. And which brings a good point to personal development and reading is if a book is not doing that for you, then you're going to want to make sure you put that book away and pick up a new book, because there's no point in just reading it to read it and to go through the motions. If it's not doing anything for you, it's a waste of time. So one is The Compound Effect. Another really great book is You're a Badass. So if you're feeling like, if you're not confident, it's a great book. There's so many books out there that you can read that will help you develop and grow in different areas of your life. So if confidence isn't an issue, don't read books like that. If, how about like, have you ever been one that says, you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. Or, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm so fat. Oh my gosh, I feel so ugly. Like you look in the mirror and you see these like nasty things about yourself, then, No. The Power of I Am by Joel Osteen. This is huge. This one actually took me almost a year to read, and not because it wasn't a good book, but there were moments that it wasn't really speaking to me the way another book was speaking to me. But then, for me, I when I do start something, I like to finish it. And what was interesting about this book is the last couple of chapters spoke to me in a way they would not have spoken to me the same way if I had finished the book a year prior to. So it's amazing what you can get from books when you're reading the right thing at the right time. So really keep that in mind. And what Carrie and Abby and I are doing is we're putting together a list of books that we have personally read. And I'll also be gathering some from other team pages to see, and we'll just make it a really nice list so that you guys have tons of books to choose from. If you guys have any questions about any of the books that we've read and maybe what it covered, or if you are looking for a specific type of personal growth book, reach out to us. We can try to help you and guide you in a direction. But personal development is so huge. I mean, when there's many times, I should really just say it's a roller coaster of emotions through this business. There are days where you are high as a kite and feeling so good and so confident, and you're ready to post all over the place and show what you've been doing. And then the next day, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to crawl in a hole and die. Like, I can't believe that why am I sharing all this? Like, what am I doing? Is this okay? Like, everybody's going to make fun of me. Oh my gosh, nobody's going to like, did I make a fool of myself? And you get in your head. But then the next day, you might be good again. But what you'll find is that if you're reading the personal development every single day, you won't have as much of a roller coaster. I'm not going to say that you won't have dips, but you won't have it'll be a much smoother uphill climb, and you will have the confidence behind all posts. Going back to even like Abby talking about the product of the product and posting like, oh, I lost like 5 pounds, more like, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds. I'm so excited. So when you have that personal development behind it, it'll come off in confidence. And Josh Coates actually, I want to say it was last week's call. He was even talking about how the way we think really does come out in our words. And so if we're not feeling confident, people will be able to read right through that. And I can't necessarily explain it verbatim like of how he did, but it hit home, and it was so true. And it really then ties to the vital behaviors of personal development. So if you haven't watched the Tribe United team calls, watch them. That is another form of personal development. So If you can't get those 10 minutes in of actually reading the hard paper-bound book or whatever, listen to something on your way home from work and listen to those team calls. Listen to your national wake-up call. That's another form of personal development. This is personal development because you're taking time out of your day to grow and to learn, and hopefully you're going to grab something out of this. Even though all of you may be thinking to yourselves, well, I've been a coach for a year or two or however long, and I know what the 4 vital behaviors are. I know that, you know, I have to do A, B, C, and D in order to be a successful coach. But are you doing it? Are you doing it day in, day out? All of these 4 vital behaviors. If you are doing it every single day, then you should probably be seeing your business grow. If you're dabbling, if you're doing 10 minutes of personal development today, but then you don't read again until next week, your business is going to go like this. If you're only being product of the product here and there, your business will be like this, and so forth. But if you do all 4 all the time, I guarantee you'll see your business grow like this. So I hope that you guys have taken some great information from tonight's call. I think that wraps up the 4th vital behavior. And I think we still have a little bit of time left, so maybe we can open up for questions or conversation. And I'm going to mute it for just a second so I can tell my daughter to go in the bath.
Okay. Yeah, we have about 2 minutes. If anybody wants to say, ask any questions or comment, give input.
Hi, Jackie.
Ash is like in caught. She can hear us.
No, one thing I was going to say is I'd meant to mention it about being product of the product, but when I first started doing product coaching, I had 2 friends in my Facebook friends list that were reps for another company, a wrap company, and never once did either of them ever share their personal experience with the product, ever. Like, I was waiting, like, okay, maybe they're waiting or whatever, you know, sometimes it takes people a while. Never once did they share, and they are no longer representatives of that company. Obviously, we have a much better product with our company, I believe. Obviously, it's like theirs is more of like a quick fix type thing. It's not a, you know, I'm not bashing anyone. But if they weren't doing it and they can't attest to it, they're not going to be successful. So that just really showed me, like, you know, we're onto something. We have something awesome. So.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be sharing, you know, just pictures of Shakeology or.
Yeah. I mean, at first, yeah, maybe you don't have a lot of experience yourself and you are sharing your upline coach's experience. But as you go along and, you know, you gain experience by drinking the shake and doing the product, you'll have that. But yeah, so these people never had that. And then so goes the story.
Exactly. We're going to get cut off here, so since there's a time limit, but
well, thank you, Ashley and Jackie, for jumping on and being live with us. We appreciate it.
We'll see you
next week.
Yeah.
Until next week.
I think we're doing what? Challenge groups?
Challenge groups next week.
Yeah. So we'll see you then.
And then again, if anyone has any questions, we'll have Q&A at the end of next week too. So if you have anything that comes up, just jot it down.
Cool beans.
All right. We'll see you
All
next
right,
week.
guys. Have a good night.
Alrighty.
Bye.